It's hair, okay? You have no control over like what sprouts from your scalp, okay? Hey guys, I'm doing something very different than I would normally do on my channel. I mean, my channel is pretty much all over the place, so everything's fair game, but something happened the other day that really kind of disturbed me, and I wasn't really expecting to be triggered in the way that I was. And I figured, you know what, I should make a video about it because I know I can't be like the only one feeling this way. I want to talk about my hair. I have 4C hair. I'm a light-skinned black woman, but I have 4C hair. And a few days ago, I was watching a vlog by this YouTuber called Briana Monique. She's really popular in the black luxury space, and to be honest with you, that's pretty much a lot of what I watch. I'm a bougie black woman. There's no other way for me to put it. So I love to see other black women taking care of themselves, being self-sufficient financially, traveling, eating well, exercising, buying things, doing things that they want to do. And she kind of fits under that umbrella. She's just not as, I'm trying to find a nice way to put this. She's just not as interesting as some other women in that space. She's not as complex either. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm not here to bash her. She's just a little bit on the more boring side in my personal opinion, and she's also not like as consistent with her videos. But I watch them, you know, when they come up. They're not necessarily like my first option, but if I see it and it's a slow day on YouTube, I'll watch her videos. But I was watching a vlog that she put up earlier this week, and I was listening to it like I was in the kitchen just cooking and stuff, and out of the corner like of my eye, I saw her like in the bathroom talking about a hair product. And then I was like, ooh, a black owned hair product. That sounds really cool. Let me listen a little bit harder. So then I'm listening to her, and then she like proceeds, she's a biracial light-skinned woman. And she proceeds to like low-key but very high-key like bash her mother's hair. Like, she's biracial, her mother's black, her father's white, and she kind of went along the lines to just say that she was really blessed to have her hair texture because her mother has African American hair, whatever the hell that is. African American hair, and it's nappy, and that her mother cut her hair off because she couldn't deal with it. And she told her mother, like, girl, if I had hair like yours, I would cut my hair off as well. She's always looking for products. Her mother always tells her, don't ever complain about your hair. You're so blessed. And she's like, I know I'm blessed. That's why I never complain about my hair. I'm just so glad to have the hair texture that I have. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, so is having type 4 or kinky coily hair, which is probably a more appropriate term instead of African American hair, like what the hell is that? Like, I've seen African Americans with all types of hair, like especially in my family, and I've even seen darker skinned people that are like African Americans with like almost borderline straight hair, curly hair, everything. I'm like, so where are you going with this? You just sound really ignorant. But she said that, and it was like really triggering for me. She's no representation to me of myself, like, or black women, period. Like, she's biracial. If she doesn't consider herself black or identify as a black woman, I'm gonna call her what she probably calls herself, which is probably biracial. So I wasn't offended in that way. I was just like annoyed that she would get on a platform and say something so ignorant. And then all of a sudden I was like, I had like flashbacks to to how I felt when I first went natural. So a little bit like about my story, I've had braids and like silk presses for like as long as I can remember. And even when I like look at childhood pictures of myself, I'm like, dang, my hair was like so long. But my mom always had my hair in braids, silk presses. She was a single parent. That's how it was. And then, you know, sometimes she would do my hair with, you know, if she didn't have those things, she would just do my natural hair. Typical, like with bobos, barrettes, like what you would see any mother do their hair, especially like a black child, right? And then when my mother passed away when I was 13, I moved with my aunt, and my aunt got me a perm because I'd left New York and moved to Florida. And my aunt's like, there's no way in hell in this humidity you're not going to be able to survive, so we're getting a perm. So I got a perm, and that was something my mother would never let me do. Like, despite a lot of my other friends having perms, my mother would not. She refused. She just said, no, you're not getting a perm. You're going to wear your natural hair. And I was fine with that. And, but I realized I never knew what my natural hair texture looked like because my mother always had my hair in braids, silk presses, and it's kind of like foggy. And I don't know if you're not black, you won't necessarily know what this term means, but there's a term in the black community called like trained, like when your hair is trained. So basically it's heat damage, but people like to call it trained. Like when you've pressed your hair enough or flat ironed your hair enough that it doesn't necessarily revert back to your kinky coily texture or its original texture before it was like straightened. It's just a looser curl pattern because you've been pressing it, pressing it, straightening it. So, but they call that trained. Like your hair is not going to revert back as easily, but really it's freaking heat damage. Okay. So fast forward like 2011, 2012, a fucking natural hair journey starts. And here I am, a freshman, sophomore in college. And my roommate cuts off her hair. She's biracial. And I watch her go through her whole hair journey. And I was still permed at the time. So I don't know, dumb me, just like I go to study abroad one summer. And like my summer after my freshman year, and I get back and I have all this new growth because I've been in another country. I haven't gotten a perm in like 3 months, 4 months, right? So I said, I'm just gonna cut it off. Like, didn't even think about it. No transitioning and eventually getting my hair long enough and then cutting off the relaxed parts. No, cold turkey, just one day woke up, went to like a white barber and had him just cut all of it off. And I was like, okay, this is like not really what I expected, but I think I just need hair products. So I run to Target, and at the time, there wasn't really much natural hair products. And at the time, I'd been watching so many videos on YouTube, I thought that I needed like sulfate-free products, natural products, like things that were more organic, right? So at the time, Shea Moisture was really in that space, and that's really kind of like what there was, okay, at the time. There's a lot more options now, especially if you go to like Target or something. But I grabbed some Shea Moisture, I put it in my hair, and I did everything, and I was like, okay, it's not really doing what I thought it was gonna do, but it's doing something. It's moisturized, okay? And I was like, okay, well, I guess I don't have 4C. I mean, I guess I don't have like the 4A hair or 3C hair or I don't have loose hair. I realize I have very kinky, coily hair. And I didn't necessarily think it was like good or bad. I just thought it was just different than what I expected, right? So long story short, I'm getting a lot of like really nice feedback from like people at my school, like, oh my God, I love your hair. All coming from white people, okay? Like, oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful. Like your features, oh, I just love it. I love it. I love it. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, thank you. That's really nice of you to compliment me. That's really nice. Like thanks. Like, so long story short, no, sorry, fast forward. I keep saying long story short when I mean fast forward. So fast forward, I start sending pictures to my friends, my family members, because I'm like kind of feeling cute, you know, like I'm free, you know, I'm changing my life. When a woman cuts her hair, she's about to change her life. I sent pictures and I didn't necessarily get the reaction that I thought I would from my family members. And I was like, okay, whatever. But then I went home, and that's when my confidence really started to go down, because I went from being like, okay, this isn't what I expected, but I think it's kind of cute. Like, I like it. Okay. I'm just waiting for my hair to grow out. I just trying all these products, trying to make sure it's moisturized, all this stuff. And then I get home and like my family is kind of like making fun of me. Like, I won't say specific names, but I have a very small family. So I was told that I needed to wear jewelry if I was going to wear my hair like this. I need to wear makeup. I can't be barefaced anymore because I look manly. There's nothing manly really about having short hair. Like, can we say that? Like, there are some people who rock a bald hairstyle and they just look really cute like that. So I don't know if they were telling me I didn't look good with short hair, whatever, but they told me that. My best friend told me that I looked like a dyke, okay? And then another family member told me, I don't know why, all of a sudden she started calling me a darkie. And at first I was like, okay, what the hell are you talking about? Because isn't that like a something like what they called slaves? Like darkies, like darkie? And she just like kept calling me darkie, and still to this day like calls me darkie. Not really sure why. I'll have to ask her one day, because maybe it's not what I think it is, but and maybe it stems from something else, or maybe it's an inside joke or something that I don't really quite get. But my family did not really make me feel confident about my hair. I just was told I had nappy hair. I had naps, like, and I wasn't used to that type of treatment, because to be honest with you, especially like growing up in Florida and everything, like, and having a perm, I'm not like what you would consider your typical black person. And again, what the hell even is that? Black people are not monolithic. There can be anything and as much or as little as they fucking want to be, okay? But to put it in context, I learned how to swim later in life, but I really fucking learned how to swim, okay? So much so that I was the only black person on the varsity swim team at my high school. And I had a perm, and it was very easy, very convenient for me. I always just had to be really conscious of like the shampoos and the conditioners and stuff that I use, because I'm going in chlorine when I already have chemicals in my hair. But my hair really thrived in a perm. It was on the thinner side, but it, you know, it was really long. And sorry, that's the oven. Hold on, I'm gonna put my salmon in the oven. Okay, I'm back. My hair really thrived, and also I have like pretty dark hair, but my hair was like red, like because of all the sun, the chlorine, being in the sun like all day like that. My hair was literally like an auburn color. So people would always ask me if I was biracial. And I guess, you know, they just assume because I'm light skinned and my hair is freaking straight and red, okay, that I was biracial. And I would always say, no, I'm not biracial. I just have a perm. I have a chemical relaxer. And that was it. But I would always like, but not just being biracial, people would like compliment me on my appearance. And I always thought it was kind of like, okay, maybe I'm cute. But I never thought anything of it. Like, I'm a black woman. I don't see anything positive or negative about having light skin. And even when it comes to hair, I don't really see anything positive or negative about one texture over the other. Just like with anything, there's advantages and disadvantages for everything. You know, some white people that have thinner hair straighter hair, curlier hair, wavy hair, they may have an easier time to manage their hair. But they also have some stuff that they don't really like either. Like, I have a lot of white friends. Sometimes they complain about how oily their hair is or how often they have to wash it every day. All of that stuff. And then you have people like me with 4C hair, where we kind of have some of the opposite, where our hair has a hard time maintaining moisture. So I really don't do a lot to my hair, and I'm sure it looks like I don't. And if you see in any of my other videos, I usually do my hair in twist, and that's just really convenient for me. The only issue I have with my hair is that it's a whole process to like wash and condition it. It's like kind of an all-day thing. And like I mentioned, I was a black person on the varsity swim team. I really enjoy swimming, like so much so that I would really, like tomorrow, I would shave all of my hair off just if it meant I could swim every day. So that's the only complaint about that I have about my hair. It's that I don't have the type of hair that would do well if I washed it every day. And that stops me from doing a lot of the things that I want to do, like swimming, exercising, doing certain things. And that's it. So if I ever did go back to a perm, that would probably be the only reason. I have no desire to necessarily have straight hair. It's just a matter of convenience. And can we popularize people being able to do whatever the hell they want with their hair and their body? Like, okay. But back to what I was saying, I did not get the treatment, or just like, I was not expecting the type of reaction that I received from my friends and family. And I'll give this person a pass. But when I was in college, I actually had, just because they're like not black, okay? I had somebody tell me that they didn't know light-skinned people could have hair like mine. And I was like, you do realize that like hair texture is not necessarily like associated with one like ethnic group or phenotype even. Like, you can have any skin color, any texture hair. Like, oh my gosh, I have friends that are Guyanese, Indian, and are darker skin, and their hair is like bone straight, okay? And then I have people like me who have 4C hair. Then there are some white people that have super curly hair. There are some black people that have super curly hair and that you would consider mixed hair. And like, what is that? Like, I don't freaking know. But I eventually went into like a real deep kind of depression, low key. I felt like I wasn't attractive. I went down a vicious cycle of wearing wigs and weaves and spending a lot of fucking money on it. I would always just look up YouTube videos, try to find anything that I could. And that's actually how I found my twist that I do. And I realized that, one, I really love this hairstyle. And two, that it's really flattering on me. And then three, that because of my hair texture, that's why this hairstyle looks so good. My hair can maintain styles for a really long time. And that's something I just noticed when my hair grew out long enough to actually style. If I put my hair in braids, those braids were like not going anywhere. Like, they weren't gonna get it loose. They weren't gonna do anything. My hair is bulletproof, everything. And I realized, okay, my hair has a lot of advantages, or at least I consider them to be advantages over some other hair types. So where there were some things that I felt like I wish that I had, like where my hair could hold moisture, or that it was a little bit easier to comb through so I could wash it every day and do sports and activities, I found that I actually had some other advantages in that I literally could do any fucking hairstyle I wanted. Whether it would stay and how long it would stay, that's a different question, okay? Like, but I could straighten my hair bone straight. The right stylist can make my hair bone straight, okay? I could do any twist style. I actually have a twist out right now. I could do any braiding style pretty much, and my hair would last. So I was like, okay, but it took me a while to get to that realization because I really felt so insecure. And like I said, I am a light-skinned black woman, okay? And it's like, I feel like people associate light skin with you're mixed with something. Like, you don't know how many ignorant people I've ran into that were like, you're so fine. What you mix with? And I'm like, black with black. Like, are you trying to compliment me? Because you thinking I'm biracial is not a compliment. That's just like, is this just an observation? Because there's nothing wrong with being fully black. There's nothing wrong with being biracial. There's nothing wrong with being white or any race, ethnicity. It doesn't matter. But it's just like, when you know, if you're a black woman, you know that backhanded compliment, like, you're pretty for a black girl, or like, you're pretty, you must be mixed with something else. Like, that's what I feel like they're saying. Because you wouldn't ask me what my ethnicity was if you thought I was just pretty. You would just say, oh my God, you're so pretty. And that would be the end of it. And I would say, thank you so much. And that would be the end of it. But to have to follow it up with, what are you mixed with? Where are you from? Unnecessary. I just wanted to speak about my experience as a light-skinned black woman because it caused a kind of like psychological damage in a way. You wouldn't expect that because it's fucking hair. It's hair, okay? You have no control over like what sprouts from your scalp, okay? The fact that you could be judged so harshly over something you have no control over is like the literal definition of like discrimination, okay? So I think a big turning point for me was grad school. I had been wearing my twists and stuff and still experimenting with hairstyles for a long time. But a big twist for me was I found a Dominican hair salon and walking distance of where I went to grad school in New York. And I just walked in one day and I said, I need a trim because like my hair was getting to the point where I couldn't like run my fingers through it, right? So I went in and I sat in this woman's chair. I didn't know this lady from a can of paint. She didn't really speak any English. Like, she was Dominican, but she didn't speak any English. So I sit in the chair and she just, from what I understood, I do speak a little bit of Spanish. From what I understood in like her broken English, she just kept saying how beautiful my hair was. She said, oh, your hair's so pretty, so beautiful, so beautiful. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yes, yes, yes. Like, you know, my niece has hair just like yours. And I'm going to use what I use on her hair. I'm going to use it on you. So she like, I don't know what this lady did, but she had like some sort of magic touch. I swear that was the best blowout I've ever gotten. Like, she just knew exactly what to do. Like, she didn't try to like put a bunch of rollers on my hair and sit me under the dryer. She knew to like blow dry my hair from like the get-go as soon as I finished. And my hair, I actually sent a picture to my best friend. And look at this. Like, this is like years ago. Years ago. Still one of the best blowouts of my life. I tell you, for like a good 2 or 3 weeks, it didn't matter what I did to my hair. Like, I could straight sleep on it and it just like stayed like that. I don't freaking know what she did. And I never saw the lady again. Like, I tried to go back again. And I don't know if she was a ghost, like the ghost, or like some presence that I like made up in my mind. But I swear when I went back to the hair salon, I tried to use the name that she gave me. I tried to describe her. Nobody knew who the fuck I was talking about. Like, nobody knew who the hell I was talking about. And I was like, geez, was this lady like a hair angel or something? Did I make her up? Did God send her to me because he needed me to see how beautiful my hair was? I don't know what happened, but they did not know who the hell I was talking about. And I was like, geez, was this lady like not even supposed to be here? Like, did she just like catfish her way? Did she say she was somebody else? And then I don't know what happened, but they didn't know who she was. And from that moment on, I had not received that level of like care and appreciation and validation from like a woman of color. And it felt really good for somebody to like, especially as a hairdresser, because it's like so many people nowadays, some of these hairdressers are like lazy. They don't want to deal with 4C hair. They want to charge you extra. They want you to do this. They want you to do that. Like, but this hairdresser, as soon as I sat down in her chair, she complimented my hair. She told me it was beautiful, told me that she was going to use different products, and she delivered, and my hair looked phenomenal, and I felt amazing. And when I washed my hair and went back to my natural texture, my ends just looked so good. I could do a bunch of styles and everything. Ever since then, I've really tried hard to find like stylists that work with natural hair. And even now, I have a really great stylist. I'm getting ready to book an appointment with her soon for my trim and everything. But it's really important to like find a stylist that really speaks life into you and tells you like what to do for your hair and how to maintain it, and gives you recommendations and speaks positively about your hair. Whether you have the straightest of hair, the finest of hair, or the thickest and the kinkiest, coiliest hair, a hairdresser should be speaking nothing but positive things about your hair. And if it's not positive, like you have balding, thinness, breakage, telling you what you need to do to get to a better place with your hair. But you know, all of this was triggered by seeing that video of Briana Monique saying that about her mother's hair, her mother of all people. And just like, we need to be careful as Black women. We need to be careful about the people we allow in our space, because Blackness is not a trend. You can't just be Black when it's convenient for you. You don't get to pick and choose when you're Black. Like, you don't get to like code switch in that sense, okay? So the fact that she is a biracial woman, probably dates Black men, has a Black mother, has Black siblings, and could say that about a Black woman's hair, knowing damn well how touchy of a subject that is in our community. Why would you, as a biracial person with, I don't know, 2A hair, say something negative about somebody with like 4C hair, 4B hair, 4 any hair, okay? And I was like, and your mother of all people? And when I read the comments, you know, not everybody was bashing her. Like, people were trying to come from a place of education. Like, literally, you're ignorant to this subject. Let me educate you. It's not about you being biracial. We're not jealous of you. You're beautiful, whatever. But the thing is, there's no good or bad hair. There's no blessing or cursed hair. You can totally love your hair and love your hair texture without bashing another person's texture. Because if you can talk about texture, what's going to be next? Are you going to start getting on your YouTube and talking about color? Because texturism is just a step away. Texturism, featureism is just a step away from colorism, and then overall racism, discrimination, prejudice, okay? So be careful. And like I said, as Black women, you need to realize you get to choose who represents you. You get to choose who you look up to, okay? Do not put women in these spaces that have no concern with you or no concern for you. And I think that a lot of Black women, we watch that and we're like, we're your supporters. Why would you say that about us? Like, why would you say that to us? And why would you say that while you're promoting a Black hair care product? Like, are you dumb? Like, really? Sorry, I gotta go check on my salmon again. Okay, I finally have my salmon. But I like detest eating and talking. So I think I'm gonna cut it here, but long story short, again, Black people we've been discriminated and against and oppressed for so long that when people tell us like who they really are, when people speak negatively about like your features or your race, especially when they're black features, we need to stand up and not tolerate that. I shared my story about my hair and my experience as a light-skinned black woman with 4C because I know for damn sure I'm not the only one that's experienced that. Even T.I.'s daughter got on Instagram a few months ago and talked about that, how she's a light-skinned woman. She doesn't like her hair. She doesn't feel like it suits her. She's mad that she has her father's hair over her mother's hair. And the fact is, it's like, that's her prerogative to say that, but it was just really sad because with the right hair products, the right routines, rituals, maintenance, you could have long, luscious, beautiful hair. Like, and it's not that one texture is better than the other. It's just about accepting the way that God made you. You know, so many women, when they wear these protective hairstyles and stuff, they never really choose, you know, clip-ins or wigs or weaves that are like similar to their hair texture. They could have hair like mine and wear like a full straight wig, and that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. But it's like, if it's supposed to be a protective style, how come you have no desire to ever look like yourself? And that was something that I realized when I used to wear wigs and weaves. I was like, first of all, the whole concept of wearing somebody else's hair in your head is weird as fuck, but it's cute. You know, like, it's cute to have your hair be a little longer or switch hair colors without damaging your hair. But I always wondered that, like, why do so few black women actually wear their own hair texture if they're not going to wear their own hair, at least? It's all about just accepting the way that God gave you and knowing that you were like carefully crafted and designed in like God's image. There's nothing wrong with how you look, and there never will be. And if you don't believe me, ask somebody that has experienced hair loss, hair thinning, baldness, alopecia, like, and even then, bald hair is cute too now. Like, hey, rock it, okay? Some people are bald by choice, not because they have some condition. And some people be rocking the fuck out of that bald hair, okay? So, all hair is good hair. If you have hair growing from your scalp, just trust and believe. There's a product, there's some kind of practice or something you can use to make yourself feel comfortable with your hair. Doing all these different hairstyles and stuff is totally fine, but just know that like your hair is cute too, boo. Okay? No matter whether you have straight or the kinkiest of hair, or the thickest or the finest of hair, it doesn't matter. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share my story, my experience, and if you've ever experienced that, please write in the comments, or if you've had any family members, friends that you feel are having a difficult time dealing with their image or their hair, just let them know that they're beautiful and it doesn't matter. Like I said, all hair is good hair, and we need to be really careful about letting people that don't identify as black be our spokesperson or model. Like, we're large consumers, and we're large like consumers of like information, money, products, all of that kind of stuff. So choose somebody that you look up to, that you feel makes you feel good about yourself. And like, there are so many, especially like multiracial, biracial, Hispanic, all, like, there's so many different types of influencers that do nothing but promote love, positivity, inclusivity, all of that. So we need to be supporting those influencers, the ones that are for everybody, not just for their type, or, you know, or they feel like they're special or above because they're different. And it's always so weird because like some of those women are like, that are don't associate as black, or don't like our hair, our, you know, 4C hair, or our dark skin, will be the first to date like a dark skinned black guy, or the first to date like some other race besides their own. So it's a little bit weird. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but like, again, I'm not here to like to bash anybody, but that's just like been my experience, especially when I watch a lot of like luxury black YouTubers. Some of them have a lot of things in common. Or black biracial YouTubers, I don't know, whatever it is. So, but anyway, have a great night. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know, again, this was random as hell. I do like real estate, I do shopping hauls, I do vlogs, so it is pretty wild, and this is random, but if you identify with it, if you have anything to say, just leave it in the comments. If you want to go in on me because you don't agree with anything I said, you can do that too. I would love a back and forth, but keep it cute, okay? I'm here for education and constructive criticism. I'm not here to just for somebody to be nasty, like, but again, this is the internet, so anything can happen. But yeah, see you guys later.